Hey guys, this video is about segment addition postulate, also known as SAP. So what is the segment addition postulate? I know you're all going to start calling it SAP, so we want to understand what the SAP really stands for. Really, the segment addition postulate says if a point, we're going to call it B, is between two other points, A and C, then segment AB plus segment BC must be equal to the entire segment AC. Okay, so to get a visual, go ahead and draw yourself a little segment with another point in between the two endpoints. And again, it says if B is between A and C. So B has to be the point somewhere between the two endpoints, A and C. And if you think about it, all this is saying is if you add this smaller segment, AB, plus that smaller segment, BC, it's going to give you the entire thing. Likewise, the converse of the SAP stands true. If segment AB plus segment BC comes out to be equal to the total, then that means B has to be in between the 2 points A and C. So let's try a few examples first without algebra. Whoops. And then we'll get into some examples with algebra. So here's the first example. Find the length of AC if AB is equal to 7.5 and BC is equal to 3.4. So we're going to continue this pattern that B is between A and C. On your homework and classwork, you want to always check the directions to make sure when you draw your picture that you draw it accurately. So A and C are endpoints here, and B is somewhere in the middle. Since AB is 7.5 and BC is only 3.4, I'm going to make B over here, because it should be a little bit bigger. And, I mean, we obviously know how to find the total. AC is going to be the two segments added together. So 7.5 plus 3.4 is 10.9 is the length of AC. Okay, so go ahead and try one more. This one's a little bit different. Find the length of segment BC if AB equals 15 and AC equals 27. So again, make sure you read those directions real carefully. The letters are different. A and C are still our endpoints. B is somewhere in the middle, between those two endpoints. So AB is 15, AC is 27. Now, AC is the entire segment here. So if I want to just find BC, that means I'm going to have to take the total and subtract AB. Right? So that's going to give me 12. So BC must be equal to 12. Notice how when I write my final answer, I'm labeling what my answer represents. So segment AC with a little segment line above it like we learned in that first video. Okay? All right, let's try one with algebra. So these were kind of easy because they were just numbers we could add or subtract. If we have algebraic expressions, it gets a little bit more involved, right? So it says find the value of x. It gives me an algebraic expression for CA, gives me an algebraic expression for AT, and I'm going to also tell you that the total length of this segment is 60. So we're going to go back to this idea at the beginning of the video. The two smaller segments added together equals the total. So regardless of the letters in the diagram, that will always work if the middle point is between the two endpoints. So in this case, I have CA plus AT equals CT. And then I'm going to plug in each of the expressions that represent those segments. So CA is 2x minus 8 plus AT, which is 3x minus 12, and the total is given to me 60. So now I can just simplify and solve for x like we did in Algebra 1. So combining like terms, I get 5x minus 20 So 2. I'm going to add my 20 to the other side, so 5x equals 80. Dividing both sides by 5 to get x equals 16. Okay, so these are the different types of examples that you're going to be seeing when we do the segment addition postulate. I want to go ahead and turn the page and try one more together using algebra. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the directions. So the question for example 4 is going to be find the value of x, then find the value of CA and AT. Okay, so some of you may have already guessed that our diagram is going to have the letter A in the middle. Doesn't matter where you put it. And I'm going to make the entire segment have a value of 100. Let's do inches. And then segment CA is going to be 4x minus 12. And then segment AT is going to be 2x plus 30. Okay? So step 1 is you always want to write out the segment addition postulate using the actual letters in the diagram. So in this case, segment CA plus segment AT is equal to our entire segment CT. Then we're going to go ahead, plug and chug, solve for x. And don't forget there's a little bit extra to this question. Oops, just 18. Subtract the 18 from both sides, we get 82. And then 82 divided by 6, right, comes out to be 13.6666. Okay, when you get an answer like this, I want you to not round, right? So 13.6666 repeating. So this is one acceptable way to write your answer. Or 13 and 2/3. This is really the better answer because that way you don't have to deal with the repeating decimal when you try to check your answer. Okay, so how do you check your answer? Well, remember, because the total segment is 100 inches, we should be able to plug in the value of x, right, to each of these segments, and it should actually equal 100 when you total it up. So let's test it. So CA, because remember it asks us to find the value of CA. So CA is 4x minus 12. So 4 times 13 and 2/3 minus 12. So how do we type this on our calculator? Okay, if you're using a cell phone, get rid of it and get your calculator. So most of us have this calculator, and I would start by typing the 13 and 2/3. So you can type 2 divided by 3 to get the 2/3, and then add 13, and then you have the 13.6 repeating on your calculator. So from there I want to follow order of operations. So I'm going to multiply that by 4, and then I'm going to subtract the 12. So the value of segment CA simplifies to be 42.6 repeating, or 2/3. Okay, so that means if I add segment AT to this, I should get 100 if we did it right. So now I'm going to find segment AT. So 2 times 13 and 2/3 plus 30. Here we go, same thing. 2 divided by 3 gives me the 2/3 on my calculator, plus 13. I'm going to double that, and then I'm going to add 30. So 57 and 1/3. So to check, I'm going to add 42 plus 2/3, because remember it's 42 and 2/3, and that does give me 100, so it checks out. We did it correctly. Hope this video helped you guys out by learning the segment addition postulate, the SAP for short. And if not, you can feel free to watch the next couple videos that I've selected from YouTube that will further instruct you on the SAP.